This is Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Welcome back. We're excited you decided to join us for another edition of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Our Season 10 is off to a very strong start. We have had a couple of high-scoring wins to actually begin our season. Last week, it was Dakota knocking off River Ridge. They will take on one of these two teams. Will it be Hononegah or Byron? Let's find out. First, let's meet them. How about a nice round of applause for the Hononegah Indians? Indians have been here since day one. A year ago, they fell 30 points short of advancing in the second round or better for the 6th straight season, so a win today will get them back on track. McKenna is their captain. Introduce us to your starting lineup, McKenna.
Hi, I'm McKenna. To my far right is Wyatt, to my right is Cole, and to my left is Daisy.
Welcome back and good luck. How about another round of applause for the Byron Tigers? There's nothing wrong for applauding for yourself, George. I know you did the clapping and looked around. That's okay. Tigers have been equally as impressive in their 8 seasons. They made it past the first round every year except for one, and that time it was one question that stood in the way that may be memorable to some of you. 3 straight Final Four appearances, though, is a pretty solid streak. We'll see if we can get that streak going again. George is leading the way. Introduce us to your starting lineup.
I'm George. I'm the captain. On my far left is Ledger, my close left is Hayden, and on my right is Ben.
And once again, keeping a theme going this year in Season 10, neither of these teams have played each other before in our game. Let's get to our buzz-in round, contestants, so grab those buzzers. The 2 most important rules throughout the whole game: wait for me to call your name before you answer, and say your answer loudly and clearly. Let's get things started this week with this question. What president who signed the Helsinki Accords during the Cold War previously became vice president under the 25th Amendment? Ben.
Reagan.
Incorrect. Hononegah, these could be your points. Daisy.
Johnson.
Incorrect. Ford. Gerald Ford took over when Nixon resigned. What American doctor's name is given to the technique using abdominal thrusts to relieve airway obstruction in McKenna?
Heimlich.
That's right, in choking. Hononegah gets the first points of the game. What man who ordered an attack on rival Bugs Moran's Northsiders in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was Hayden?
Al Capone.
That's right, Chicago mobster nicknamed Scarface. Now both teams are on the board. What painter who used his wife Saskia as a model painted syndics of the Drapers Guild and showed the men of France banning Coke in the Night Watch? George.
Da Vinci.
Incorrect. Hononegah, you could take the lead with this question. Many of his works are in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. That's Rembrandt. What woman married Menelaus and was kidnapped before the Trojan War? Ben.
Helen.
Helen of Troy, that's right, known as the face that launched 1,000 ships. What author depicted a prodigy who dates 19 girls of the same name in An Abundance of Catherines and wrote the YA tearjerker, The Fault in Our Stars? Daisy.
Green.
That's right, John Michael Green. What movie in which the giant baby Bo escapes from Yubaba depicts Chihiro's adventures? Wyatt.
I'm
going to finish for Byron. Chihiro's adventures in a bathhouse for Kami, and was directed by Hayao Miyazaki. This is a tough one. An animated Japanese film from 2001 called Spirited Away. What Spanish artist's The Charge of the Mamluks is sometimes titled for the day before the event depicted in his painting The 3rd of May, 1808? Daisy.
Battle of Waterloo.
Incorrect. Byron. The artist we needed was Francisco Goya. What transition metal, which is used in most white paints as well as in hip replacement? George.
Lead.
Incorrect. I'll finish for Hononegah. Hip replacements and the bodies of airplanes has the atomic symbol Ti. McKenna.
Titanium.
That is correct. In paint, it's actually the powder titanium dioxide. Hononegah is in the lead now. According to the UN, as of August 1st, 2023, what country is the world's most populous? Cole.
India.
That is right. India surpassed China in April 2023, according to the UN. What general who was defeated at the Battle of Zama by Scipio Africanus at the end of the Second Punic War used elephants to cross the Alps? Hayden.
Hannibal.
That's right. 2nd and 3rd centuries BC. Semmelparous organisms such as salmon and the agave cactus perform what behavior once in their lifetime? Ben. We'll clear the buzzers. Hononegah, you could take these points. McKenna.
Cam cycle.
Incorrect. They reproduce once in their life cycles, or in their lifetimes. What economic concept, which has frictional, cyclical, and structural types, denotes the status of people who are seeking but cannot find work? McKenna.
Unemployment.
Unemployment is right, and that is how we end the round with those points for Hononegah. Hononegah's on top, not a big gap there. 2 questions basically from this round. 50 points for Hononegah, 30 points for Byron. We've got 3 more rounds to play. The next one is volleyball, and we'll have it for you after this break. We are back for our second round this week in Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. It's our volleyball round. Before we get to more questions, a very special thank you, really quick one, but he deserves much more than a quick thank you because he's been around practically from the beginning for our 10 seasons here at Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. I'm talking about Brad Fisher, who's our judge today. He's also the head editor of the IHSA Scholastic Bowl State Series, and he volunteers his time every time we ask him to help us, but to also help our students. So, Brad, we just need you to know we really appreciate your help. Let's move on to volleyball. It is a conferring round, contestants, so work as a team. But the answers need to come from the captains, McKenna and George. Speaking of George, you get the first volleyball question. Are you ready? Here we go. In 1952, David Tudor sat at a piano and closed its lid while premiering what John Cage piece?
Jurassic Park.
Incorrect. 4:33 or 4 minutes 33 seconds. In fact, I think we had a reference to that John Cage piece in last week's Quiz Bowl. Here's your first question of the round, McKenna. What event, whose leader was appointed on Mount Horeb by a burning bush, occurs after plagues enabled the Israelites under Moses to leave Egypt?
10 plagues.
Incorrect. It's also the name of the second book of the Bible. The event is the Exodus.
Oh, yeah.
Back to Byron. What author wrote about an epidemic that devastates the French-Algerian city of Oran in his 1947 novel, The Plague? That was Albert Camus. Back to Hononegah. What Habsburg monarch, who was the subject of Charles VI's 1713 Pragmatic Sanction, waged the War of the Austrian Succession to secure her rule? That's a tough European history question. She ruled from 1740 to 1780. That's Maria Theresa. Back to Byron. What element named indirectly after a Greek deity is used in most catalytic converters?
Helium.
Incorrect. It's also what Tony Stark used to make his arc reactor, palladium. Back to Hononegah. What simple machine used once in an Atwood machine and multiple times in a block and tackle consists of a rope wrapped around a wheel on an axle?
Pulley.
That is correct. Back to Byron. What former Canadian Prime Minister, who served nearly continuously from 1968 to 1984, was born in Outremont, Quebec?
Trudeau.
Can you be more specific?
Justin Trudeau.
Incorrect. We needed his father, Pierre Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is the current Prime Minister. Back to Hononegah. What animals, some of whom host the Pevensies when the children enter Narnia, are the mascot for Oregon State University and are rodents that build dams?
Beavers.
That's correct, even if you didn't know the Narnia part. Back to Byron. What religious denomination founded by Mary Baker Eddy operates reading rooms and a namesake newspaper whose title ends in monitor?
Catholicism?
Incorrect. The newspaper is the Christian Science Monitor. That denomination is Christian Science. We're out of time for the round. That's how we end it. Hononegah moves up to 70 points. Byron's at 30 halfway through our game. Our NECA IBEW lightning round is coming up next. Well, it's coming up in 2 breaks. We got to take a break and give you the Bergstrom bonus question. Then we'll come back, get that answer, and then do lightning. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we'll get all this game in, and we'll take a break right after this.
2016 Best Actress winner Brie Larson starred as the main character in which 2019 Marvel movie?
Our scores are 70 to 30 right now. Hononegah is on top. Let's take a break, shall we? We'll put the points to rest, but put pizza and pasta on the line. From Lino's of Rockford. That's what you get if you answer this question correctly. If you're watching at home, you already saw the question. See if you know the answer, and so let's see if our contestants do as well. Hands on your buzzers, contestants. 2016 Best Actress winner Brie Larson starred as the titular hero in which 2019 Marvel movie? Madeline.
Captain Marvel.
That is right. Congratulations. Enjoy the pizza party. Carol Danvers and Friends return to theaters next Friday, actually, in The Marvels. We'll take another break. Come back with our lightning round. Put some of these points back in action. We'll be right back. I don't know if you heard the cheers just a few minutes ago when Madeline got that question right, but then in the break, someone went, "Pizza!" from the audience. So congratulations, no matter what happens with the game, Madeline, you are the team's hero for getting that pizza party at Lino's. All right, this is our NECA IBEW lightning round now. Lots of points on the line here. Our scores right now are Hononegah with 70 and Byron with 30, but if you run a category, it hasn't happened yet this season, you run a category, it's 100 points added to your score. Hononegah, you get first pick this week because of the coin flip. So McKenna, the 3 categories are plastics, famous Romans, or T in initials.
T in initials.
All right. Give the word that the letter T stands for in these 3-letter initialisms. So I'll give you the acronym. You have to tell me what the T stands for. 60 seconds to go through the category. Could be pretty quick here. Who knows? And then, George, you and the team have 30 seconds to get to what they don't. Remember the pass option. Are you ready for the first one, McKenna?
Yes.
Here we go. 60 seconds is on the clock. Give the word that the letter T stands for in these 3-letter initialisms. NYT, a newspaper.
Times.
Correct. ATM, a machine that dispenses cash.
Teller.
Correct. TCU, a university in Fort Worth.
Texas.
Correct. EMT, a profession of first responders.
Technician.
Correct. TLD, the final part of a website's domain name, such as .com.
Pass.
TNG, a TV series in the Star Trek franchise.
Pass.
STI or STD, a category of disease.
Transmitted.
Correct. TSA, an agency of the Department of Homeland Security.
Travel.
Incorrect. CBT, a psychological treatment.
Pass.
VAT, a type of levy based on value added.
Pass.
TLD, the final part of a website's domain
Top.
name. Say that?
Top.
Correct. TNG, a TV series in the Star Trek franchise.
The.
That's correct. And time is up. That is our 60 seconds. So you've got 7 correct, if I'm doing my math right. Yep, there's 3 left for you to pick up. George and the team, you only have 30 seconds to do it. Take all the time if you need it. Otherwise, answer quickly and we can move on. Are you ready, George? 30 seconds is on the clock. Here we go. Give the word that the letter T stands for in these 3-letter initialisms. TSA, an agency of the Department of Homeland Security.
Pass.
CBT, a psychological treatment.
Therapy.
Correct. VAT, a type of levy based on value added.
Time.
Incorrect. TSA, an agency of the Department of Homeland Security.
Transportation.
That is correct, and nothing to go back to. There's only one left on the table. That was VAT, the type of levy based on value added. That stands for value added tax, is the T in that acronym. Nice job with that category. Contestants would leave only one on the board. So now, George, it's your turn to pick from the two categories that are left. That's plastics and famous Romans.
Famous Romans are, I mean, we're pretty good with plastics, right? How many plastics do you know? I feel like Romans. I think plastics would be.
Okay. We'll do plastics.
All right. We'll leave the Romans by the wayside. Answer the following about plastics. I can assure you there are no Mean Girls questions in here. That's a clue for both teams.
Okay.
60 seconds on the clock. Get through these as quickly as you can. Don't forget the pass option. And then, McKenna, you have the 30 seconds that are left over for what points Byron doesn't get. George, are you ready for your first one? Answer the following about plastics. Compounds made from monomers that include most plastics.
Polymer.
Correct. Underground resource used to make most plastics.
Oil.
Correct. Process of melting down plastics for reuse.
Recycling.
Correct. Property held by plastics that can break down naturally.
Biodegradable.
Correct. Plastic abbreviated PS used in foam cups.
Polystyrene.
That's correct. Machines that deposit layers of melted plastic based on a computer model.
3D printer.
Correct. Durable plastic used in namesake white plumbing pipes.
PVC.
Correct. Process that makes soda fizzy, requiring thicker plastic bottles.
Carbonation.
Correct. Plastic used in shopping bags, abbreviated PE.
Polyethylene.
That's correct. Estrogen mimicking plastic component, known by a 3-letter abbreviation.
It's the last one.
What was the last one?
Oh, can you just say pass and maybe you'll read it again?
Pass.
There's nothing left to pass because you almost ran that category. You came pretty close. Nice work. There's only one left on the board. It's a tie game now. You could break the tie, McKenna, if you know this, and you've got 30 seconds. You can take all those 30 if you want it. I'm going to start the clock on you really quickly. Are you ready?
Yes.
Answer the following about plastics, the only one left. Estrogen mimicking plastic compound known by a 3-letter abbreviation.
Botox.
Incorrect. It's good to answer, but that's not it. The full name of this plastic is bisphenol A, but it's known by the acronym BPA. Once you heard BPA, you can see the light bulbs go off all the way across the line. So look where we are as we head into our final challenge. It's tied, 140 to 140. Our final challenge is going to be pretty exciting. You don't want to miss it, and it's right after this break. After Hononegah leading all the game, or at least every round, the end of every round, now we're tied after a solid lightning round really from both of our teams. It's 140 to 140, Hononegah versus Byron. Only one team will advance to our second round. We'll find out who in just a few minutes. Hands on your buzzers, contestants. Same rules as round one, other than instead of each of these questions being worth 10 points, they are worth 20. And especially when a game is this close, wait for me to call your name before you answer, and make sure you say that answer loudly and clearly. All right? Deal? Here we go. Here's our first final challenge question. Good luck to both teams. What national capital on the Spree River has suburbs such as Potsdam, was once home to Checkpoint Charlie, and contains the Reichstag? Wyatt?
Berlin.
That's right. Also used to have a famous wall. Hononegah gets the first points of the round. Nathaniel Hawthorne's story, The Celestial Railroad, was based on what 1678 allegory by John Bunyan in which Christian journeys to the celestial city? That allegory is Pilgrim's Progress. What former crime for which Connecticut exonerated 45 people in May 2023 was most infamously the subject of 1692 trials in Salem, Daisy?
Witchcraft?
That's right, Salem, Massachusetts. What last name was shared by Edmund, the first U.S. Attorney General, and Asa Phillip, a civil rights leader who organized the March on Washington? Wyatt?
Fitzgerald.
Incorrect. Byron, you could take these 20 points. George?
Smith.
Incorrect. Randolph? What author of Up from Slavery, who encouraged racial conciliation in his Atlanta Compromise? Ben?
Frederick Douglass?
Incorrect. I'll finish for Hononegah. Led Tuskegee University and rivaled W.E.B. Du Bois. Wyatt.
Debs?
Incorrect. Also the name of Illinois' oldest African-American community center right here in Rockford, Booker T. Washington. What is the mass number of the most common isotope of nitrogen, as well as the number of electrons in a filled Hayden?
14.
That's right, F subshell. Byron's first points of this round. What opera whose title character sings "Love is a Rebellious Bird" features Escamillo the Toreador and was written by Georges Bizet? That's Carmen. Robert Herrick's poem "To the Virgins to Make Much of Time" advises gathering what flowers, which are the focus of a repetitive quote by Gertrude Stein? Ben.
Sunflowers.
Incorrect. Hononegah, these could be your points. Madeline.
Daisies.
Incorrect. Rose. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. What type of substance whose electron density can be measured using a Langmuir probe are made up of ionized gas and are called the fourth state of matter? Hayden.
Plasma.
That is correct. We're tied. The cities of Kingston and Toronto are on the shores of what Great Lake, which receives the... Ben.
Ontario.
You got it. Receives the Niagara River. Now Byron's on top. What language used to write the poem "The Drunken Boat" and the book "The Flowers of Evil" was spoken by poets Arthur Rimbaud and Charles de Baudelaire? Ben.
French.
That is right, even with my messed up pronunciation. That's our game. With that run at the end there, Byron is moving on by 20 points, 220. You have made it to the second round. Congratulations. You'll take on Dakota. Hononegah, this is the hardest part of the game, always, but you should be very proud of yourselves. You played a very good game, led most of it, and really had a solid performance throughout. That lightning round was kind of tough, too. How many of you are seniors? The whole, at least that lineup. Everybody out there, too? Oh, you have some recruiting work to do, because we want Hononegah back. Keep your streak going. Thank you so much, but you guys come visit us anytime, all right? We will see Byron in our second round, and we hope to see you next week when Belvedere North takes on Newman Central. Thanks for being here.